What's up, everybody? ShonnyDman here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great weekend, depending on when you're watching this. We are back because I wanted to drop my quick little review for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Just saw it earlier today on Friday, and we're going to talk about it. Overall, I think this movie is going to do relatively well. Like, there's been different tracking projections for this movie the past couple of weeks, anywhere from 400 to maybe even maybe 800, depending on what you believe or not. I think this movie is going to do well. This movie is going to do well. And so my thoughts about the movie was, so you saw about like the trailers and stuff like that. It was just you felt like maybe there was too much going on in this movie. For the most part, yes. Now this is gonna be like a spoiler-ish type of review, but most of that is alleviated because you remember when we saw some of the trailers and stuff. We saw villains like Tarantula. We saw villains like Boomerang. Scorpion appears multiple times throughout the movie. We even get Tombstone, but most of that is all in the beginning of the movie, kind of like a montage of what he's been doing, because this is set 4 or 5 years after the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. And so it's been Peter Parker, or it's been Peter being Spider-Man, although he kind of looks in on Ned and Mary Jane or MJ from time to time. But he's pretty much just been doing his own thing as Spider-Man during that time frame. So some of the things I liked about the movie, I thought the movie had some really good action sequences throughout the entire film. I really didn't feel like there was like any kind of corny jokes that you typically get from a Marvel movie. Now there were some jokes here and there, but nothing too crazy. All right, so let's just talk about it. Like, it has been pretty obvious that Sadie Sink, when she was originally announced, there was speculation on, could she be playing a new version of Mary Jane? Are we gonna move away from the Zendaya Mary Jane character, or is she gonna play Gwen Stacy? Is she gonna play so and so? There's a lot of questions about who she will play, but for the most part, the overall consensus from people online was that she was going to be playing Jean Grey, the mutant from the X-Men side of things. And yeah, she is Jean Grey. It was actually kind of spoiled at a red carpet event, I think, where somebody was interviewing her, or they were like, somebody was interviewing her, or somebody was being interviewed and talking about their favorite part of it was Jean Grey and everything. And I mean, it's not really a spoiler when everybody kind of figured that was going to be the case. Like, it had been at least several months, maybe up to a year by that time, where everybody was like, this is probably playing Jean Grey. I'm okay with Sadie Sink. I don't have an issue with her. I don't think I like the portrayal of what they were doing with the character here. It just felt like out of character for somebody like Jean Grey. So the whole purpose of her storyline, because she's the villain, but she isn't. The whole purpose of her storyline is that she had a sister. Now I don't know much about comics. Maybe she does have a sister in the comics, but she had an older sister. Both were telepath. The older sister, Sarah, gets taken by damage control, ideally to use, as a weapon, so on and so forth. So her whole plot of the story is her is basically looking for her sister, and she's been attacking several center of damage control locations for a while. There's at least 4 that was confirmed by Spider-Man that had been attacked, including what we saw in the beginning of the movie here, where the armor cars rampaging through the city, and we get the scene of the old lady in the armored car, and you start seeing the jumping from body to body. And so we also learn, like, I think that the limit that was mentioned in here, where she could only, her range of like jumping, and it was kind of reinforced with Sarah also in a flashback, flashback, is that their range is 33 feet. They have to be within 33 feet of somebody to jump into the body, but then they can, but they can multiply that. They can like jump from 1 to 1 to 1, and then when they stop, they jump automatically back to their body. It seems like that's not the case with Jean anymore. It was like that limit is shattered, because she was like able to like communicate with the hand in the prison, not prison sequence, towards the end of the movie. But I think for the most part of like showcasing her powers, I thought it was, they did a relatively good job at doing that. You also have the Punisher in here as well, which we knew, which honestly I really loved the dynamic that they went with Spider-Man and the Punisher. I think that relationship was really, really cool. And I think they all also like they kind of like redid an image from the comics where Spider-Man had been shot, and I think in the comics it's like, or the comic cover, it's Captain America carrying Spider-Man, but in this sequence they put the Punisher in and doing it like that. And the Punisher seems like the Punisher that we saw from like the first 2 seasons, season 2 of Daredevil Punisher. It didn't seem like the Punisher from One Last Kill, because that was one of the questions I had, was when they did Punisher One Last Kill, where does Spider-Man Brand New Day fall into place here? And then not only that, there's also like there are some questions about its placement when it comes to Daredevil Born Again season 2 on that. So there's still some questions that I don't think Marvel really thought out when it came to this. But needless to say, because this movie was originally supposed to come out I believe in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, which maybe it makes sense on why some things are the way they are, maybe. But no, so it ended up coming first. You got Bruce Banner back as the Hulk. I'm not really a huge Mark Ruffalo fan. I really was never a big fan of this version of the Hulk. But you see Bruce Banner, you do see Smart Hulk, and then you see Savage Hulk in the movie as well. You have Yelena here as well, which I don't know why she was needed in this movie. I think you probably you honestly could have done most of the stuff without her in it. I don't know why we had her in the movie, to be quite honest. It was like, I don't know, it felt like a weird scene too, where Peter goes to Yelena's office, and she's just sitting in like a hot tub, I guess it was like a sauna hot tub kind of thing. And she's just sitting there, and she's like, take off your clothes and all that. But it was just like, I don't know. It was like a weird. I don't know why we needed that. I don't know why we needed that in there. Other than that, she's very small in the movie. I mean, Peter goes to see her to ask questions about potential, like, is somebody could be mind control, like how she was and the other widows was during the Red Room and Black Widow. Doesn't seem to be the case. She does help in it back into the movie where she's able to like uncover some files that the CDC have been trying to hide or cover up in that situation. But so she was very limited in the movie. Ned and MJ. I mean, honestly, you probably could have just done the movie without them. And I think a lot of people were hoping to move past that. I think a lot of people were hoping to like, you did what you did with No Way Home. You know, you erased their memories. They don't remember who Peter Parker is, so on and so forth. A lot of people were hoping you would have moved away from at least those two characters and maybe bring in like a Black Cat. Now it just really feels like we're not ever going to get a Black Cat, which kind of sucks. But I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. There was a dark moment, I would definitely say, where so Peter goes, and we saw it in the trailers where he goes, finds MJ, and it's like, hey, you need to come with me, somebody's after you, I gotta protect you, and things like that. She goes with them, and like they're on this roof talking about how, you know, why is this person after me? And Peter has to like play it off, like, I don't know, you know, and she realizes like, we knew each other, didn't we? Because because I remember all the time Spider-Man saved me and my friends. And she's like, once or twice, okay, but multiple times, she realizes that like we must have known each other and then it gets a little dark because Peter, like they MJ acts like she remembers everything, and it's just Jean controlling her. I was like, oh my gosh, that is like insane. What else was it? I don't know. I am still bothered by the way Jean was like portrayed in this. Like she was a villain, but she's a sympathetic villain. I don't think she needed to be that. I don't think you needed to have that in there. But what else about the movie? Oh man, the swinging action, it was really, really good. I love some of the shots that when Spider-Man is swinging, there are moments where you're kind of like looking over his shoulder as he's swinging. Really love shots like that. I think they said they took inspiration from the Insomniac games, and so that was pretty cool. And then there was the suit. The suit looks so good. So many times throughout the movie, like he keeps his suit on pretty much a lot in this movie, and I really, really love that. But the suit just looked absolutely amazing, and oh my goodness, like it was just a perfect suit. We do learn Spider-Man is obviously going through a transformation. We've seen that throughout the trailers and stuff like that. Curious to see on where that leads into the next movie, because it looked like throughout this movie he was being more arachnid, and I think a lot of that had to do with like his environment, him being alone, that kind of thing. But pretty good start. What else was there? There was I don't know why they did this, but they had this whole dilemma, not dilemma, but they had this whole thing with Peter talking to this female cop throughout the movie. I don't know why you did that. I don't know why that was necessary to have in. If you were going to do that, you're better off replacing her with Yuri Watanabe. I think that would have been a better choice than this random person. Like, he's just randomly talking to her about crime and stuff like that. And obviously, she doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man. She's just like, how did you meet? Like, how did you, what? It just feels like this should have been more of a Yuri Watanabe kind of thing, like what we saw in the first Insomniac Spider-Man game. And so I don't know. It's just a weird. It's just a weird thing. What else was it? She always seemed to have her kids around too. I don't know why that was. Like there's only like maybe 2 times I can think of where she didn't have her kids around, but majority of the time she had her kids around. The fight with Scorpion, pretty cool. I wasn't sure if I really liked the suit of Scorpion. It kind of looked like the suit that you saw from your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series on Disney Plus. And that look of the Scorpion suit. I don't really like that suit that much. I prefer like the full encased suit, but it is what it is, I guess. And lastly, there's like a post-credit scene where Ned created a track, like an app, a spider tracker, where it kind of like lets you know if Spider-Man's in the area or something like that. There's a post-credit scene where the tracker shows Spider-Man in space. Don't know what that is about. Could tie in with maybe Battle World for Secret Wars. Maybe. I don't really know. But yeah, overall, I thought it was just a fun movie. I thought it was a fun movie. I would definitely say it's like maybe like a 7.5 out of 10. I think it ran a little too long. I can definitely say there are maybe a little bit too many people in this movie. The action sequences were good. Tom Holland as Spider-Man, this is probably one of his best outings yet. As Peter Parker / Spider-Man. I feel like you could have done away with the MJ Ned thing, but whatever. We're here. We're back with that again. But yeah, I mean, overall, I would definitely say this is a 7.5 out of 10. You can probably feel like, I've seen people say it feels like there's 2 movies in this particular one in Brand New Day, and I could definitely see how that comes across. But I think it's a good start to a new trilogy. Obviously, we'll have to see what happens next with the next 2. But yeah, so Spider-Man Brand New Day, 7.5 out of 10. I would give it. Fun. There's not much really else I can say about it, honestly, but it was just a pretty fun movie. But guys, that is basically it. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for watching. If you are new to the channel, be sure you hit that like and subscribe button, comment below. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all have a good one.